Hi there, welcome to PleasantSims. My name is Cindy, and if you're new here, I tell stories in The Sims and help you improve your gameplay. Or at least that's what I used to do. It's been over 6 months since I've played The Sims, since I've even opened the game. I honestly didn't think anything would bring me back to The Sims 4. It's been a stale and underwhelming gameplay experience for me for a while. But as I was checking on my channel, as I do from time to time, someone sent me a message and told me that The Sims 4 is getting wants and fears. So my ears perked up a little bit when I heard that. And this is something I never ever thought we would see in The Sims 4, and I am incredibly surprised that it's actually happening. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a little glimmer of hope again for The Sims 4. Will this be enough to make the game enjoyable again? Will this be enough to breathe life into this, in my opinion, dying game? As a longtime Sims 2 player, The Sims 4 just hasn't delivered what I need for an enjoyable game. A way for my Sims to have unique desires and fears to guide them in their lives. In other words, the ability for wants-based gameplay, which is my preferred way to play the game. I know not everybody cares about this, but for those of my audience that do, I think this is going to be a big deal. Wants-based gameplay allows for interesting storytelling without things feeling forced. You can allow your Sims to make their own decisions and their own mistakes in their lives. And I just find that much more entertaining personally. Over the years, I've sort of figured out a system where I play The Sims 4 kind of wants-based with lots of mods using the whims, but it's just never been that satisfying to me. There's always been something missing, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the key. A few days ago, the Sims team live streamed some of the highlights and features of this new wants and fears system. So let's take a look and see what we think.
These whims look different.
So don't get twisted. These are not whims.
They're not whims.
No, these are wants and fears.
So they are going to be getting rid of whims as we know them and replacing them with wants and fears.
Hello.
Hello, Jimmy.
Hi. So yes, these are wants and fears, and thank you for letting me talk about them.
I
I know
almost
it's
stole your
super
bit,
exciting. Yes, I know. I think they're exciting. So everyone really loves wants and fears. So first off, I want to just let everyone know that we are bringing back wants and fears, but they're going to work a little bit differently than they did before. And on top of that, I also want to iterate that this is going to be part of the base game, as well as we're going to be adding very unique wants and fears specifically for high school years.
Okay, so just to clarify a little bit, this is actually the Sims 4 High School Years live stream where they're going over the new expansion pack, which I'm excited to see something for teenagers. I'm really happy they are coming out with this. There's going to be prom. It looked like there were more expansive social media. There's a lot of new features coming to the Sims 4 High School Years, which I am not going to discuss very much in this video because I just want to focus on the wants and fears because that's what I'm most excited about. Personally, all of these other features, I can take them or leave them if we have some kind of wants and fears system. So that's what I'm going to be focused on today. I may make a video about high school years in the future. We'll see. So this is coming to the base game. So you don't have to buy the new expansion pack to get the wants and fears. Everybody's game is going to be updated with the wants and fears, which is really great. And they are saying that they're going to have unique wants and fears for high school years. I hope that means that they're also going to have unique wants and fears for the other expansion packs that already exist and if any come in the future. That worries me because The Sims 4 has a tendency to not really update older content with new features. So I really hope they take that into consideration. Another thing I want to say is I can already see the potential for mods. As always, the mod creators for The Sims 4 are probably going to save us when it comes to this feature. Hopefully we will have mods to create more in-depth wants and fears for the various expansion packs because I feel like The Sims 4, if it's anything like whims, things are probably going to be not as in-depth as we would like. But who knows? I'm keeping my mind open here.
First off, let me just start off by talking a little bit about about how wants works. So we're going to have up to 3 different wants. There's going to be 3 different types really. There's going to be one long-term, one short-term, and then one that we're going to call more reactionary.
Okay, so 3 different wants. In The Sims 2, we get up to 6 wants, but hey, this is better than nothing. So there's going to be a long-term want, a short-term want, and a reactionary want, which I assume is related to whatever's going on in The Sims life their reaction to whatever's going on in their life at the time. I do like that they're giving us different types, like a long term and a short term. So maybe a long term want might be something like getting married for family Sims or getting a job for fortune Sims or something like that.
So that is where whenever you go travel, you go to a different lot. Maybe there's like a bar or a gym. If it's a bar, you'll get a want to go. Maybe your sim will want to go get a drink.
Okay, so it's based on whatever's happening, wherever your Sim's at, whatever they're doing at the time. And I like that. That reminds me of The Sims 2. Like if your Sim would go to a lot with a pool, they might roll a want to go swimming, things like that. So that's nice.
If it's a gym, then maybe they want to go work out. So we want wants to be a lot more driven by your Sim's traits and their own desires.
I really hope that that is the case, that they are driven by traits, because this would give traits so much more meaning in the game. Because right now, a lot of traits feel meaningless, even though they've tried to like update them. All your Sims just end up feeling the same. But in this system, if traits would influence the wants of your Sims, I feel like that would give them so much more personality. Like creative Sims might actually want to get to level 10 of painting or paint a picture, but Sims that didn't have the creativity trait may not want to do that as often or at all, and that could really differentiate them and make them feel unique. So I hope that is where they are headed with this.
So that way it will, like the wants will be fit with your sim a lot more. It'll be a lot more dependent on the traits.
I gotta interrupt just a second. I hate that my sim has the fear of having unfulfilled dreams. That is way too real. That hurts me. Sorry, continue.
I mean, the fears are supposed to be real.
How
So let
dare
me just,
you?
No.
Okay, so I see a fear under the traits. I wasn't expecting that, so it looks like there's a fear listed under their traits, fear of unfulfilled dreams. Is this how the fears are gonna work? So the fears are traits instead of like whims over here? Okay, that's different. I expected the fears to show up over here along with the wants, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case. That's okay, I don't care where they show up as long as they exist and have some meaning in the game.
He
I
got
mean,
the trait.
yeah, I mean,
Stop.
so yeah, so you also brought up a nice point where it's that there's actually a fourth section within Wants and Fears, and that is where you see the icons a lot more different. It changes a lot, and it's going to be your fear, and that is your Sim's way of telling you that hey, maybe today is a day where I can confront this fear.
So far, and I'm not understanding this completely, but so far it doesn't look like you're going to have fears the same way that you have wants, like I would like to have, like in The Sims 2, like you would roll fears just like you would roll wants occasionally. Like your Sim might have a fear of getting a bad grade or getting struck by lightning or something like that. It looks like the fears that they're doing here in Sims 4 are more long-term overarching fears, like fear of unfulfilled dreams. So I'm a little disappointed, but I haven't heard everything yet, so maybe that's not all there is to it. Let's keep going.
I love that Jessica's fear of unfulfilled dreams is causing this. It's almost if someone is controlling her life. Who is that? Will Jessica finally fulfill her dreams, or will whoever is controlling her life stop her wishes from coming true?
This is a
But what exactly does unfulfilled dreams mean? Does that mean she needs to fulfill one long-term want, all of her wants? Like, I'm not clear on what exactly that means.
Yeah, like I wonder who could be possibly doing such a thing to Jessica. Unbelievable.
I'm upset.
Yeah. So for fears, you're able to decide whether or not, just like for the fear of unfulfilled dreams, if your sim will confront the fear and conquer it, or if they will continue to live with that fear. That's totally up to you.
And what happens if their fear is realized? Does anything negative happen? Oh gosh, I'm really starting to get worried here because it almost looks like once again there's going to be no negative consequences. I was really hoping for more of more short-term fears, that if a sim like got fired from their job or got a bad grade or lost a friend, those kind of fears that could happen over time and cause some kind of negative impact on the sim. And I'm not seeing that here, so I'm a little concerned about that, but let's keep watching.
Sim over here, he's trying to become a computer whiz, so naturally he has some light wants to practice programming, make friends, stuff like that, right? Get over social awkwardness.
Yeah, so that means
Yes.
Ooh. Yes, I want to say that you will not get any more B boxes. It's going to be a lot more specific to your sim and what they want.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I think a really concrete example of fears is just the fear of fire. So if you see a sim, like if you see a fire, your sim might develop a fear of fire, and then they'll have a lot of trouble trying to put out fires and being around fires in general.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. That sounds like a negative impact. So if your sim can develop fears based on what happens to them, that is really cool. So if your sim sees a fire, they might develop the fear of fires and then they freak out when there's a fire around them. Now that is the kind of impact and consequence that I'm looking for in my gameplay. So that's really good to hear. I hope that there are other fears like that. So it looks like your sims can have multiple fears that they rack up.
But if you elect to take on conquering it and you actually manage to put out fires, you might be able to actually beat that fear and conquer it and
Oh, that's cool. So, if your sim is able to conquer their fears as well. That is really cool.
be strong in the face of something like a fire in the future. So again, it's about character development, it's about positive off ramps, and it's about growth. And also, you might never conquer that fear. You might just have that fear forever. My sim might never actually fulfill their dreams. Thank you very much. And that's okay.
I like that because I don't like all of my sims to fulfill all their dreams all the time. I like some of my sims to fail, some of my sims to, have their worst nightmares come true. Not because I'm some kind of sick sim torturer, but because that's just realistic to me and it's going to be based on their own choices. So far, it sounds pretty good, but I am still concerned about the lack of real consequences, although it sounds like they have tried to incorporate that in there.
So as we're here, we're looking at some of the stuff. So we're going to go to school tomorrow. We're going to get there, everybody. But let's look at some of the new streaming stuff we have here, right?
Okay, so I guess that's all they're going to talk about Wants and Fears in this stream. It was just a little tiny highlight. So let's go check out what the website has to say because I'm sure we'll get some more information there. So I went to the news archive on the sims4.com website and I'm not seeing anything about the wants and the fears. There's some stuff about the new pack, sexual orientation in the Sims 4, which is really cool. And I looked through the Q&A. I couldn't find anything about wants and fears. But I did find a good article on Sims Community that shows some screenshots that I haven't seen before. Apparently, they will have fears such as fear of failing classes, fear of failing tests. Those are all the ones that I've seen so far. If you've seen other ones, please let me know in the comments, but these are the ones I'm seeing now. I don't know how exactly they're going to get these fears. Maybe if your sim has a certain type of trait and they go to class, they'll get a fear of failing classes. I hope it's something like that. I hope that the fears are also trait related. And maybe your sim will just have some random fears, which would be really cool. Like your sim is just born with a fear of crowded places, or maybe that's more for like shy sims. I don't know. What I really, really want to know here though is what is the negative consequence if a fear is realized? So if your sim has the fear of failing a test and they fail that test, what happens? What happens to them? There has to be some kind of consequence. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. So let's cross our fingers that this is going to be really as meaningful as it seems at first glance. I have to say that after seeing this live stream, I am somewhat hopeful that this can make The Sims 4 enjoyable for me to play again. But as always, I remain somewhat skeptical that this will be implemented in a way that actually adds deep meaning to Sims' lives and identities instead of being shallow and buggy. I guess I've just been burned too many times by The Sims 4. But I can't help but be hopeful because this is something I've wanted in this game for so long and I never thought was going to happen. After they abandoned Whims, I thought it was all over for once-based gameplay without tons of mods, and even then, it still wasn't perfect. But it's really impossible to say right now, based on this very small glimpse that we've been given of the gameplay. I will have to actually get my hands on this update and play around with it in order to form a true opinion. These are just my initial thoughts from what I've seen so far. I am really looking forward to trying it out though. And I can't wait for the plethora of amazing mods that you know are going to come from this. I'm sure that we'll get tons of mods adding more in-depth wants and fears, and adding the ones that you just know will be missing from the vanilla game. Oh, God bless the modders. That's all I can say. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I am dying to know what you guys think, especially my Sims 2 players, my once-based players. What do you guys think about this? Is this enough to bring you back to The Sims 4 and give it another try? Do you think this is really going to be a good thing and is going to add some depth to The Sims 4 that we've been wanting for so long? Are you skeptical? Are you just done? Like, let me know what you think from what you've seen so far. And also, if you have any more information about this update or you've seen other screenshots or info that I didn't see, also leave that down in the comments and let me know. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Cindy, and I'll see you with a new video very soon. Bye!